everybody. Thank you for coming to my Facebook Live today. It's a beautiful day in Calgary. I hope it's beautiful where you are too. It's super sunny outside. I am going to be doing Facebook Lives every week now. So you can come find me every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And it'll be a place where I'm making projects, showing tips and techniques, and hopefully it's just a fun way that you can be inspired in your own crafting. Awesome. So for the month of June, I am going to be talking about coloring. So I chose coloring because in the new annual catalog, there are lots of, hi Cheryl. In the annual catalog, there are lots of coloring stamp sets, so kind of outline stamp sets that are perfect for coloring. And when I first saw these kind of stamps, I did not, I was intimidated by them, to be quite honest. I was like, I don't know how to color. I'm not an artist. I can't do this. So I just wanted to do a few different coloring projects to show you just how easy it is, and you it doesn't have to be too complicated. So the stamp set that I'm going to be playing with today is the Jar of Flowers bundle. And I'm just going to, I think I'm going to point you down right now. I'm going to show you the catalog. Just give me one sec here. Where is the little, I'm just gonna flip the screen so it's facing the right way for you. There we go. All right, let's get it kind of straight. All right, so in the new catalog on page 11 is this cute Jar of Flowers bundle here. So this is the stamp set. So what I've done today, what I want to show you is that I'm doing something called casing the catalog. So I've chosen a card sample here, and I'm just going to make my own version of it. And casing stands for, it's an acronym, and it stands for copy and share everything. Copy and share everything. And so that is one of the beautiful things about the stamping world, is that you can, people post their projects, and it is for the benefit of you, so that you can be inspired, so that you can take ideas and make your own cards and kind of spur on your own creativity. So I just wanted to show a sample of that today. So I've chosen this card here, which is kind of fun with the bright magenta, and I'm going to show you how to make this card today, but it kind of in a different color scheme. So here is the card. So you can see I went with the blue instead of the pink. And today I'm going to be showing off the Stampin Blends as a way of coloring. So I'll just show you a couple here. So Stampin Blends are Stampin Up's alcohol-based markers, and that just means that they're good for just what it says, for blending and coloring. So they just don't have like the streaky marks that, say, a regular marker would have. The colors perfectly blend in together. Now again, that sounds complicated or fussy, but I just want to show you guys how easy it is to do. So let's go ahead and start making this card. So the first thing I'm just going to show you, so it's just a regular card size. So this is 5.5 by 4.25. So that's the card base. So I'm going to set that aside for now. And then I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this is 5.5 by 3.5. And this is what we're going to stamp the jars onto. So here's the stamp set. And we're going to take the outline of the jar here. And we're just gonna pick it up with the block. Hopefully you guys can see everything. And I'm gonna stamp the jar in Pool Party. So that's a good light color here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp. I want them to be a little bit off. And I'm gonna start with the one that's gonna be my flowers. And actually, you know what? That's gonna be a bit too high. Let me just turn that over. We still have to fit the flowers on top. So I want a little bit more hanging off the bottom. There, that's a bit better. And then we're just going to line up the jars here. There we go. And then while we've got the jar stamp out, I'm gonna take another piece. And this is, in the sample, I have one punched out. So I'm gonna stamp another jar there. And now this one, I wanna have the water in the jar. So I'm gonna show you how to do that too. So in the stamp set, there's a smaller piece of the jar, if you can see that. So this will have the outline of the watermarks. So I'm gonna ink that up in the Pool Party again, and then, sorry, I'm just gonna lean over and line that up. These stamps are great for lining up. So you can see the water lines in the jar. And now this stamp set is what Stampin' Up calls reversible stamp sets. So some of the images you can stamp on both sides. So I'm just gonna clean that off with the chamois, and then I'm going to turn over my stamp set, and now, or my stamp, sorry. And now I've got the flat side, and that's gonna be the water for the stamp, or for the jar. So I'm gonna ink it up, but I don't wanna stick it right on there because it'll cover up all the lines. So I'm gonna do something that we call stamping off. So I stamp off once, and then I line up, and now I've got the water in the jar. Isn't that cute? I love this one. Okay. That's the fun thing about stamping. It's like really satisfying when you see the image. Okay, now we're gonna stamp the stems for the flowers before I forget. And for that, put this away now. I just need the Memento Black. And there we go. Now I've got the stems in there. Okay, and now we're gonna punch it out. So this is what the bundle is. You get a matching punch to punch out the jar. So I'm just going to take that, and you flip your punch over, and then just line it up. Punch it out. There we go. So we'll set that aside for later. Now we're gonna get to the coloring part. So in this stamp set, there's 4 different bouquets that you can choose from. So I've chosen this one, mostly for the fact that it's more landscape kind of shaped, so it's better suited for our card. And I'm gonna ink it up in the black. There we go. And then hopefully you guys can see I'm getting kind of crooked here. And then I'm just going to layer it over that second jar. Just kind of firmly press down. And there we go. We've got the bouquet for our jar of flowers. And now comes the coloring part. So I've just worked with some of the colors that I already have. And now every Stampin' Blends color comes in a 2-pack. So you get a light and a dark for each color that's available. And so the one I'm gonna start with is Flirty Flamingo, which is a fun pink. And each has 2 ends as well. So there's like a felt, you know, a brush end, and then a fine tip end. So I'm gonna color with the more brushy end. And I'm gonna start with the light. And then just kind of not too fussy, right? I'm just gonna go in and color my flower. And it's always best to do your coloring on a separate piece of cardstock and stick it onto your card than your actual card because it does bleed through a little bit. And so then I'm also gonna do this color or this flower. And just kind of quickly color that in. Oh, already looks good, right? Hardly takes any effort. But now I'm gonna take the dark, and what I'm gonna do is kind of outline some parts of the flower. So this is kind of where I'm talking about you don't have to be an artist. So I don't know all the ins and outs of shading and all that kind of stuff, but you know, most stamp images are kind of forgiving. So I'm just gonna go over like what I think are like the outside edges plus the inside edges of the flower. Or each petal, I guess. Okay. And again, you don't have to be too fussy with it because that's where the blending comes in. So what you do now is you come back to your light one, and now you blend in that darker line. And it's gonna take away the harsh edge of the dark and the light, and it's gonna kind of, I mean blend, I gotta think of a different word, but it just blends them together really well. And then you can kind of see the subtleness of the shading. And there we go. See? Easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some of the other flowers. So this is Calypso Coral. So again, I prefer to start with the light, then do the dark, and then kind of go back, but you could always start with the dark as well, and then blend with the light after. And you have to kind of really click those lids on. And make sure when you're storing your Stampin' Blends that you store them flat like this, not upright. And then the ink is lying properly in the marker and it's not going to run to one end and you're not going to have any drying out issues. These last for a very long time and I've been really very happy with them, had no issues with them at all. So again, we're just going to go, and I'm just going to follow, you know, the artists for the stamp sets do such an amazing job, right? That we don't have to come up with the techniques too much. I'm just gonna color that in, and I think I'm gonna do some of these yellow. Oops. And maybe you're wondering, well, there's a lot of colors. Like, how do I decide where to start? And I would just think about what you think you might be coloring. When I first started, I started with yellow. This one right here, Daffodil Delight. This was my favorite color. I was like, I'm gonna start with yellow because I think I'm gonna be coloring mostly flowers. So I chose yellow, and then I chose a green. And this green is actually Granny Apple Green, which, oh, I missed the petal. This is Granny Apple Green, but I actually started with Old Olive, which is really great for flowers too. So I picked a yellow, and then I picked a green, then I picked a pink, and I just slowly, you know, I'm just slowly building up my color collection, kind of one set at a time. You know, then you might add a brown or a gray. It really depends on the stamp set that you're choosing. And I'm just gonna show you, like doing the dark first, what it looks like on these leaves here. So I'm just gonna go over that line in the leaf. See how it looks kind of streaky, and then I just come back in with the light Granny Apple, and you just keep going until it's blended the way you want. So you can keep going. You can keep adding light and dark until you're kind of happy with how it all blends together. There. There's also a color lifter. I don't have it here right now to show you, but let's say you went, whoop, and you had like a big mistake, or you want to highlight a certain area. There's also a color lifter in the blends that will lift up the color as well. So there we go. We have done the whole flower, and that really didn't take very long. And now, before I forget, I'm gonna go back to the jar that I cut out, and I'm gonna color the stems. So I'm not gonna shade this at all. I'm just gonna color this in. And I just love how easy the blends just color. And there we go. Get every stem. And there we go. Coloring all done. So all that's left before we assemble the card is the sentiment. So the stamp set that I've chosen is another new one from the annual catalog, and it's called Many Mates. And I like it because it has just lots of different sentiments. So just thinking of you, get well soon, happy anniversary, happy birthday. And these ones are open, which is fun because then you can color them inside with the blends or with other markers. So I'm gonna choose happy anniversary because there are some anniversaries coming up that I know of. And I'm going to stamp it in Misty Moonlight, which is one of the new in colors. And I just got my new in colors yesterday, the ink pads. And it's fun to see the paper and stuff in the new colors, but there's something about stamping in the new colors. It's so much fun. All the colors are so nice. I still can't decide my favorite, but this blue, Misty Moonlight, is tops for sure. So, like this is flexible, right? You could have any sentiment, any stamp set. And I'm just gonna stamp happy anniversary there. All right, now all that's left to do is put the card together. Oops. So I've got my card base and I've cut out a piece of Misty Moonlight DSP. So this is from the 6x6 paper stack from the 2020 to 2022 in colors. And I'm just gonna grab some adhesive. I don't have the new one yet. There's a new one. This one's been retired. The new adhesive is called Stampin' Seal, and I'm very excited to try it out. And then I'm just gonna layer that on the bottom of the front of the card, just like that. And then you could just lay this flat on the card, but I've actually kind of thought I would like it kind of pumped up with dimensionals. So these are just the puffy stickers. And just gonna put them kind of all around, but not where the flowers is. Okay. And then you just peel off the backing, which comes off not too bad. Okay, and then we're gonna put it on the front of our card. So I can line that up. Okay, over here. There, I love that. And now, cards are all about dimensions. Oh, I think I was supposed to put the jar on first because I need to snip it off. So let's see if I can line this up without. I'm actually gonna snip off, although it would even look cute if you left it full, wouldn't it? I think it could go either way, but I think I'm gonna snip it off to match today. And then I'm just gonna put a couple dimensionals on that as well. And then line that up there. And the only thing that we have left is the ribbon. And so, I mean, obviously any ribbon will do that matches. I've chosen the Misty Moonlight ribbon. So this is new, obviously, with the new in colors, and it is out of stock at the moment, but we'll be back in a few weeks. So another ribbon that would look awesome in this card is, what is it called? Like the braided trim or linen thread, or my favorites, those kind of neutral looking ones. Those are always good choices. So I find like about, 10 inches for a bow, or you can just kind of guess here. Let's see if I can make a bow on command. just kind of play with it until you're happy with it. Sometimes bows come together really great. Sometimes they don't. There we go. That's not too bad. And we'll just snip that off there. And maybe cut off a little more. We don't want that to go. Yeah. And then I'm just going to use a glue dot to, oh, at the end of my roll here. Stick the ribbon on the glue dot and then attach to the card. And voila, there you go. How's that? That really didn't take very long. So I hope that this just shows you that not to be scared of any techniques in the catalog or what you see people do. Once you kind of break it down, they're very doable and easy to replicate. And so there is our card for today. Thank you guys. I'm going to show you a couple other samples with the blends that I've already done. If you watched my live last week, this is the one that I showed last week, also with the Jar of Flowers bundle. And, you know, just a slightly different color scheme, but basically the same. But remember this, there's 3 other bouquets too. One's kind of maybe more springy with tulips, one has sunflowers. And then this time when I punched the jar, I just punched it right out of cardstock. I stamped the outline of the jar on Pool Party cardstock and then punched it out. And then you'll see I used that Many Mates stamp set again. And this is one of the open words or whatever, sentiments. And I just colored that in with blends as well. So that's fun. And then one more that I want to show is this one with the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set. Now, last week on my live, I showed how to just stamp the sunflower in black on a card and how that looks awesome on its own with no coloring at all. And then I also showed stamping the sunflower like tone on tone. So yellow on yellow and then cutting it out. So many different options. But this time I've colored it with like the traditional colors of a sunflower. But this stamp, like, it's so detailed, right? They've got, the artist has drawn all the lines for you. Like, so it takes all the hard work out of it, which is what I like about it, right? So I colored it with the Daffodil Delight and the light, and then I went over the dark, just exactly where the artist put all the lines, and then blended it in, and then I used crumb cake as the center. So that's just another sample for you guys. Okay, I think that's it. I'm just gonna bring you guys back up. Just give me 1 second to flip around, otherwise I'm gonna be upside down. There we go. Ooh. Have to work with the stands here. All right, there we go. I hope you liked that card. I hope that was fun for you guys to watch, and I hope that you would try, like I said, try to do some of coloring yourself. Next week, I'm going to be using the watercolor pencils, and then the week after that, I'm going to use the Stampin' Write markers. So just to show you that there's lots of fun different ways. Stampin' Up has a lot of great different products for coloring. If you liked what you saw, you can sign up for my emails on my business page here. There's a spot that says email sign up, and then you'll get all my information about classes and specials and things like that. You can like me here and follow me on this business page and see the things that I post. And then also you can follow me on Instagram at Loretta Marie Crafts is the name. So that is it for today. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you guys next week for some more crafting fun. Thank you. Bye-bye.